Can one simple question change a life? Yes, it can. ¿Cómo te ayudo? How can I help you? This is the same question that I asked when two women that I have never met before came knocking at my door while I'm in the Dominican Republic. The first woman, who's clearly shaken and distraught, looks directly at me and says, Mi hija Catherine de 23 años tiene leucemia y le queda un mes de vida. Ayúdame. My daughter Catherine, who's 23 years old, has leukemia and 1 month to live. Help. That was the summer of 2023 where I was helping to rebuild an elementary school with a team of volunteers that were traveling with our nonprofit. We do everything from helping to rebuild homes and schools. We offer service and adventure and wellness all wrapped into one. But before people could travel with us, there's an interview process. And we ask everybody what their superpowers are. So that way we can connect their talents and skills with the community projects that we offer. Our philosophy is, instead of marching in with a plan and thinking about what an individual or community needs, we start by asking a simple question. ¿Cómo te ayudo? How can I help you? By asking this question, we don't assume what a community needs. I almost missed an opportunity to help Catalina. Catalina is a joyous grandmother of 4 whose house needs rebuilding. And when I meet her, she welcomes me with open arms. Hola, mi hija. Welcome, my daughter. ¿Quieres un cafecito? She offers me some coffee and welcomes me into her home. Then I hear her call out to her granddaughter to go and borrow coffee from the neighbor. Suddenly, I don't want that Dominican coffee anymore. But I am overwhelmed by the magnitude of her generosity. Here's a woman who has nothing to offer me materialistically, but has so much to give, like her time, her attention, her humanity to me, a complete stranger. So there I am in Catalina's house, and suddenly when I look up, I notice there's a huge hole in the ceiling. And in my mind's eye, that's the first thing that needs fixing. But I stop myself, and instead I ask, Catalina, ¿cómo te ayudo? How can I help you? And she says, well, I love some cement for the floor, so that way when it rains, my feet won't get wet and muddy. And some wood for the door, so that way we can close it at night. So then it's determined, Catalina could really use our help. Together with our volunteers, with the community, with men and women, even children, come out to help rebuild Catalina's house. And in 1 week, it's complete. And Catalina couldn't be happier. She is grateful. And then we come back a second time to rebuild the other neighbor's house, the neighbor that let us borrow the coffee. Another huge success. But and then, when we return a third time to help rebuild another neighbor's house within the same community, something remarkable happens. The community has a surprise for us. They themselves have saved up money to buy the cement, collected the woods, gathered the nails and the tools, and they have helped to rebuild the home all on their own. When we ask directly, ¿Cómo te ayudo?, we understand what an individual in a community is capable of. And that creates a ripple effect of change. And that is service that empowers and not just fixes. I know firsthand about getting aid and people giving me a helping hand. I grew up in the inner city of Providence, Rhode Island, and programs like Upward Bound and Talent Development, they gave me the academics that I needed to push forward. But like most people, when I start to make money, I get caught up in the hustle. I start the businesses, buy the houses, the cars, the fancy clothes, the shoes. Wow, I'm looking good. No, I'm looking fine as wine. Yeah. I look good, but I don't feel good. There's this tremendous void within my heart, and nothing can fill it. Then, about 12 years ago, I take a trip to the Dominican Republic that changes my life. It's January 6th, Three Kings Day. 3 generations packed into this little red car. My mom is driving, I'm in the passenger seat, and my son, John Daniel, is 4 years old, and he's sitting on my lap. And in the back seat, there's a mountain of stuffed animals. Then I notice, from the corner of my eye, that there's a little boy. He's barefoot, naked, and nothing but the sun on his back. When the car stops, John Daniel jumps out of the car with his little Mickey Mouse propeller hat twirling in the wind and holding his teddy bear. Feliz Navidad. I see a child of my blood and a child of my roots. They come together through this random act of generosity, through this random act of kindness. And my life has changed forever. When I walk over to talk to the little Dominican boy, I say, Oye, ¿cómo te ayudo? How can I help you? He gives me this bright, big smile, and he runs away with his teddy. He's probably thinking I'm going to steal him, but I'm not. I asked that child, how can I help him? But really, I'm the one that needs help. And it's in this moment of generosity and giving that these 2 children teach me that status and stuff isn't enough for true happiness, joy, and fulfillment. And this is where Caritas Smiles is born. Caritas means tiny faces in Spanish. And in Latin, it means love of humanity. We take trips and we create smiles by asking, ¿Cómo te ayudo? So when these 2 women come knocking at my door, asking to help Catherine, who's dying of leukemia, I'm ready to help and do what I can. I just don't know how. I just know that I have to act. And now I find myself following these 2 women on the backs of motorcycles through the windy roads of Monción, where finally we arrive at a shack. And that's where I meet Catherine. She's sitting in a rocking chair, smiling and seemingly content. And next to her is her 5-year-old son. When I ask, ¿Cómo te ayudo? She says, no puedes hacer nada. You can't do anything. But I can't not do nothing for this woman sitting in this rocking chair, because if she doesn't get the medical attention that she needs, she's going to die. So I say, yes, I'm going to help you. And from that call to action to saying yes, then others start to ask me, ¿Cómo te ayudo? How can I help? My sister Grace knows a doctor. Kathy knows somebody at the embassy. Maria connects me to the right people. Angie creates spiritual prayer groups. When we do small acts of kindness, they become big acts of courage. And that's when miracles happen. And it's a miracle that after 1 week, and with her life hanging on a thread, that Catherine arrives to the United States. Each and every day is unpredictable. The chemo, the radiation, the treatments, the tears. And then the extraordinary happens. A donor is identified, and Catherine receives a bone marrow transplant, and she survives. I'm happy to report that Catherine is in Boston and healing, and she's preparing to go back to hopefully be reunited with her son in the Dominican Republic. When we ask, how can I help you? It turns into how we can help. And when we collectively take action on that question, we step outside of ourselves to find the strength and the potential that this world so desperately needs, that we so desperately need for ourselves. It's easy to get distracted and to take a detour and to lose your path. It's not about collecting hearts online, but touching hearts in real life, touching your own heart, a reflection of our shared humanity. When we are of service to those that are materialistically poor or seem to have less than we do, it's a powerful awakening, because we realize that sometimes happiness and joy can't be bought with money. But the currency of Cómo Te Ayudo is your time, your attention, your network. It's your superpower. One simple and ordinary question has the power to change a life, and sometimes even change your own life. So the next time you meet someone, don't underestimate your superpower. Your call to act is to simply ask, ¿Cómo te ayudo? How can I help you? Thank you.